District of Columbia, hosting over 20 million visitors annually, many with plans to visit the American capital. But just miles away from the national seat of power, another struggle is set to ignite as the Charleston Predators come to Washington to face the DC Dragons. This is a Simulation Football League presented by APN Music, and a special welcome to all the SFL stars watching in League City, Texas on SFL Convention Weekend. My name is Josh Circle. I'll bring you the play-by-play, and with me in the booth this afternoon is Aaron Alexander. And Aaron, we've seen Charleston off to their best start in franchise history at 2-0, but now they face an incredible test, facing Shabazz Synergy and this incredible Dragons offense here in their own building.
Yeah, this Dragons offense has been pretty explosive the past couple games. The last game they had against Las Vegas, both Shabazz Synergy and Kevin Say combined for just about 400 yards of total offense together. Of course, the last time these two teams met, an absolute thriller at the dungeon that came down to a game-winning touchdown from TD Drew to Buchanan Simons. We'll see if that scoreline replicates itself today, or if DC will have their revenge.
And that has been, to date, the only matchup, the only meeting between these two. And let's not forget about Shabazz Synergy's week 1 against Vancouver in that shootout. Throwing for 500 yards, 68 passes, 5 touchdowns against 3 picks. And Shabazz Synergy will be the first quarterback to take the field this afternoon. So glad to have you with us. Cameron Irvine once again producing. And we are underway here in the DMV. And we're going to take this from the 4-yard line. DC getting a run out here, breaking a tackle. And DC will get this out to the 26-yard line, and the Dragons will set up the shop there. What are you looking forward to seeing about this DC offense, Aaron?
Honestly, pretty much anything about this DC offense. They've been absolutely explosive to start this season. Like I mentioned, they only lost to Vancouver by 3, and it was an offensive showcase. They beat Las Vegas, who last season were a pretty solid playoff contender. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if DC can replicate the success they've had these past 2 games against a really tough team in Charleston.
Kevin Say stopped at the line for no gain. 2nd and 10. Jack Hoffman, the linebacker, on the tackle. And now Synergy will set up in the offset eye. Twins to the top of your screen. Charleston in their nickel look. Synergy will dump it off. And that will be about as productive as the first play. They're going to give him a couple yards. That is Chris Britton, the rookie, who blocked for Jimmy Hazard in San Jose in the SFL minor league. He's going to get 2 yards on that, and a big 3rd down already here, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely not what you would have expected to see coming out of DC on their first drive with this long 3rd down look.
And now 4 wideouts. Synergy has time, throwing over the middle. That is caught. And DC's going to move the chains here on their first drive of the game. Charleston getting tested early in the passing game. That is Jeff Banfield, the 2nd-year wide receiver, had 66 catches in a very productive rookie campaign. And Synergy moving the chains here in the first drive.
Yeah, very, very calm, collected pass there to Jeff Banfield. Just had a lot of time in the pocket to set his feet right and get that pass off. Good play there for DC.
Say the handoff, and he is going to get stopped behind the line. Nowhere to go. Josh Reese, the 4th-year free safety, coming in. Let's meet the DC Dragons offense quickly. Shabazz Synergy is the quarterback, and halfback Kevin Say. The fullback is Chris Britton. The wide receivers, Mike Churchill, Josh Gill, and Jeff Banfield. And the tight end, the rookie, Rupert Westcloud. And he is in the game to the left of Synergy with a short drop here on 2nd and 11. And that is caught. It's Churchill. And Churchill's going to get within 3 yards of the sticks. Another 3rd down here. Churchill had 54 catches, which led Memphis in the SFLM. He was taken 50th overall. And a run on wide receivers late in the 2nd round. And he has his first catch of the game. And now here comes Synergy on 3rd and 3. They're going to stay in that offset eye. Twins to the top of your screen. Westcloud on the sideline. Short drop. Synergy complete. That is caught. Banfield again. with another money catch. DC's got a drive going, Aaron.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's been pretty impressive so far. Yeah, Charleston's defense have managed to get them in a couple of tough situations here early on, but Synergy and this young DC offense have been able to come back into it pretty quickly after those big losses.
Chris Britton checks back in. Synergy in the shotgun, dealing to the right side this time, and that is caught again. And again, it's Banfield. Banfield making a play for the sticks, but finally brought down by Johnny Bravo, who's had an outstanding season 17 so far, preventing the first down there. It's 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and probably the biggest key for Charleston so far in their 2-0 start has definitely been their defense, a very experienced core there on the defensive side of the ball out in Charleston.
Conversely, Synergy, the 4th-year quarterback, the most seasoned player in this offense. Say gets the call on 2nd and short. He's got a first down. He's going to get this very close to the 35-yard line. They're going to spot him at the Charleston 35. And Kevin Say whooping it up. DC's on the cusp of field goal range.
Yeah, Kevin Say off a pretty remarkable rookie campaign. Granted, the season didn't exactly go as DC might have liked it, but a lot of really, really close games last season. And they're looking to convert those close losses to
Synergy big over
wins.
the middle. That is complete. And they're inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Dragons. Number 84, Josh Gill, has his first catch of the game, and it's a great one. 1st and goal for DC.
Yeah, that was just an impressive ball there from Synergy. DC's offensive line just giving him all the time in the world to make that throw over the middle. And Josh Gill just in the right place at the right time to make an absolute brilliant catch and get DC into the red zone for the first time this game.
Josh Reese biting down on what might have been play action there. As it is, 1st and goal. Say gets the call up the middle. He'll have maybe a couple yards. He's going to get to the 5. We've seen a lot of Synergy on this drive so far, Aaron. Do we think we're going to see maybe more of Kevin Say here as they try and punch it in?
Possibly. It's going to depend on, potentially some of the looks from Charleston's defense here as far as what DC decides. But definitely at some point we'll see a lot more out of Kevin Say.
Say again, and he inches closer, this time to the 3. Charleston staying in that nickel look with 5 defensive backs on the field, only 6 in the box. And Kevin Say from 3 yards seems like an enticing proposition here for DC as Synergy marches up to the line. And what will they do here? Say in the backfield all by himself. Wes Cloud and one other tight end in the game. Short drop by Synergy, dealing to the left side, jumped in front, and that is incomplete. Looking for Banfield again, and it was number 28, John Stamango, breaking up that pass. And here comes the rookie, Pawdy, taken 2nd overall in the season 17 draft, and he's going to try and get DC their first points of the game.
Yeah, unfortunate there for DC that they're not able to convert 7 on this drive, but still points on the board, presuming this Pawdy kick goes through. I'm liking what I'm seeing from DC so far.
Absolutely. They're staying very pass heavy as Pawdy's going to put this through the uprights. DC's up 3-0. We're talking about Shabazz Synergy in the open. 68 passes in that first game, Aaron, in week 1. But then in week 2, came crashing back down to earth, regressing to the mean, if you will, with only 28 passes. And I think we're seeing more of the week 1 variety of Shabazz Synergy so far, as Charleston is set to receive this kickoff.
Yeah, and it's definitely not necessarily, a bad thing against different teams switching up the offensive style. In fact, it makes it harder to scout what a team's going to do from week to week, which can lead to some potential mismatches that you didn't necessarily plan for.
Jay Taylor. Excuse me, Aaron. Jay Taylor, the return specialist for Charleston, will get this out to the 22-yard line. And here comes our look at TD Drew, the 6th-year quarterback, the lefty. And he's going to have a couple friends in the backfield with him on 1st and 10. 2 tight ends to the right side. And there's the handoff to Keith Swearingen. And Swearingen has nowhere to go. The DC defense showing up big. A handful of defenders there. David Leathers, the cornerback, among others on the stop.
Yeah, they're just unfortunate there. The DC defense able to crash down pretty quickly after the handoff to prevent Swearingen from getting any yards.
Swearingen and fullback Terrell Sutherland remain in the backfield. 3 wide receivers set for Charleston. Swearingen again with a lead blocker, not much better that time. He'll get only 1 yard. And let's meet the Charleston offense. The quarterback is TD Drew, the halfback Keith Swearingen, the fullback, the rookie Terrell Sutherland, and wide receivers Ken McCarrow, Jay Taylor, and Buchanan Simons, the tight end Lyric Da Vinci. And now 4 wideouts on the field for the Predators. Drew with a deep drop, pressure coming, deals to the left side, and what a catch! In double coverage by Ken McCarrow. Absolutely sensational grab, and a big play for Charleston right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's seriously impressive there from Ken McCarrow. Just able to get his hands above the defender there and snatched that ball away for what easily could have been a tip drill interception or just an incomplete pass.
McCarrow had 10 catches last week. None of them looked as good as that one. Drew out of the power right, dealing over the middle. That is caught. A big catch, just a little dump off. I believe that was Buchanan Simons on the crossing route there against Da Vinci. And Simons has himself another first down.
Yeah, another really good pass there from TD Drew. Had time to make the appropriate reads, gets it into the hand of a receiver, and Charleston now continues to march.
Swearingen, a little better on the ground this time. He'll get a couple yards. DC in that 3-3-6, trying to stay nimble against the pass. Let's meet this DC Dragons defense. The defensive tackles, Isaac Forrester and Benny Butcher. The defensive ends, Exodus O'Brien and John Gary. The linebackers, Ajumo Afolabi, Clint Hendershot, and Riley Hughes. And the defensive backs, John DeSantis, Kanye Rockefeller, Peanut Say, David Leathers, and Jack Russell. 2nd and 8, Drew dealing this time to the left side. That's intercepted. DC with the first turnover of the game, and they've got a lane heading up the right side. It's Kanye Rockefeller, and Rockefeller's going to return this into Charleston territory for the first big play of the game.
Yeah, and just look at this here. That ball a bit overthrown by TD Drew, intended for Ken McCarrow. Kanye Rockefeller's just right place, right time. It's like the ball was just thrown perfectly to him and just had miles of space in order to return that ball. Big here for DC.
Very impressive, explosiveness from the 12th year free safety. Kanye Rockefeller sets Shabazz Synergy up with great field position to start their second drive of the game. Remember, they kicked a field goal to start the festivities on the very first drive of the game, as Kevin Say will get a couple 2nd and 8. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. And Synergy with a big drop on 2nd and 8, and that one is intercepted. Zach Lay goes up for it in deep center field and snags a big catch to take points off the board for DC.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that was just the pressure of the Charleston defensive line getting to Shabazz Synergy, because there was only one DC shirt there and like 4 or 5 different Charleston defenders. So it goes into the hands of Zach Lay there. Charleston recovering from the interception thrown earlier.
TD Drew on first down will throw it, and that is complete to number 40. That's Elbert Russell, the backup tight end. Pardon that pregnant pause as I frantically search for the name of Mr. Russell. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Dueling turnovers here in the first quarter. So glad to have you with us in the special edition of SFL football here on convention weekend. Drew with trips to the bottom, dealing over the middle, and that one is nearly intercepted as Clint Hendershot comes up with a big knockdown there to make it 3rd and 6.
TD Drew still throwing these dangerous balls here. That one, another one slightly overthrown, I believe. That could have easily resulted in another interception. Thankfully for Charleston, it's just batted away incomplete.
Drew, who hit the 300-yard mark, excuse me, last week. All right, little antsy to do it again. Deal over the middle this time, and that one is also deflected. And that might have been Hender's shot again as he was looking for Buchanan Simons. And that is going to lead to our first punt of the game, Aaron.
Yeah, and realistically, you want to do a lot more with a turnover like that. Unfortunately, Charleston not really able to get anything going on that drive. DC's defense had Charleston's receivers pretty much under lock and key that whole time.
Punt is away for Charleston. Brad Bretchett doing the duties there. And DC will get this very close to midfield. And that is Rockefeller on the return. And after some dueling INTs, DC looking like they're still in pretty good shape here with 1:52 in the first quarter. They're going to start near midfield for this next drive.
Yeah, DC just like 2 yards away from Charleston territory right now.
Trips to the top of your screen. Dynasty has Say in the backfield. He will drop back on first down, and that is caught and complete to number 19, Mike Churchill, the rookie. That's his second catch of the game, I believe. 54 catches for Memphis, 512 yards. That was 12th. In SFLM, was actually less than the 536 acquired by Churchill's new teammate, tight end Rupert Westcloud. And now heavy set for DC here on 1st and 10. Dealing again. Say out of the backfield. Spin move. Has yards. Probably his most productive play of the game so far. Kevin Say. 7 yards on the swing pass. 2nd and 3.
Yeah, that was definitely set up by that impressive spin move there by Say in order to extend that play even further than realistically it may have gone.
And now Rupert Westcloud in the game. Back to Say. Say has a first down. Spin move again. Gets free. Getting close to the 20. Battling for yards. And it's Corey Menner that finally brings him down, the third-year cornerback. Kevin Say doing some work here, Aaron.
Yeah, Kevin Say proven quite slippery here late in the first quarter. That's the second play. He's busted out a spin move and managed to slip a tackle before being brought down by a Charleston defender.
Time winding down here in the first quarter. DC looking to strike for the second time in this game. They already have a field goal from the rookie sensation, Potty. Say again. And just when Say was starting to create some space for himself, Jack Brown comes in and says, no, sir. Gain of 1, gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Jack Brown, one of the new owners of the Charleston Predators, has been making himself known all over the field so far this game.
And that will be the end of the first quarter. The teams have to switch sides. You can stay right there. More football action coming your way. You're watching a special edition of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Charleston 2-0 for the first time in franchise history, facing DC in their own building. Shabazz Synergy's already got points on the board for his team, looking to add some more. Dropping back here on 2nd down. Going to the left side, and it's Say again. And the spin cycle working great for Say as he gets inside, or they're going to spot him at the 10-yard line. It will be 1st and goal for DC. Josh Zirkle, Aaron Alexander with you on the call. Cameron Irvine producing here on SFL Convention Weekend. So glad to have you with us. The full slate of games on YouTube and Twitch. A full slate of excitement in League City, Texas. And Synergy now. Drop back here again on 1st and goal. And that is caught, and out of bounds goes Josh Gill. He did not quite have the inertia to turn upfield. It's a productive game, but still 2nd and goal.
Yeah, but this is a really important 2nd and goal here for DC. They've been in this situation before early on in the first quarter, Charleston's defense was able to clamp down and not allow them the 7. But it's a new drive, could be a completely different outcome here.
Stay at the middle, save inside the 1, and finally dragged down by Zach Lay, coming in from the strong safety spot to keep Kevin Say out of the end zone. It's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, I think Kevin Say just either spun a little too late or spun the wrong way. It could have maybe pushed that into the end zone there and broke the plane. It didn't happen this time, but still 3rd and goal here for DC.
And now 6 defensive backs on the field for Charleston and on the goal line, and Say is just going to saunter in. Very curious decision by an otherwise very stout Charleston defense, and Say finds the end zone for the first time today.
Yeah, the defensive formation there for Charleston, definitely a questionable one, but that's a big touchdown for DC as they've taken a 10-point lead early on in this game. Charleston yet to strike back here.
Pawnee taken 2nd overall in the season 17 rookie draft. Coming out for his 2nd bit of business, had a field goal earlier in this game. We'll now add the extra point here. And that is good. And the Homeboys jumping out to a 10-0 lead here in our nation's capital. Aaron, what do we need to see from Charleston here if they want to get back in this?
Charleston just needs to not make risky passes. Specifically, TD Drew needs to not make risky passes. There were a couple on their previous drive that could have easily been intercepted, and a couple others that just didn't go their way. Granted, this is pretty much credit to DC. They've managed to keep Charleston's receivers in check. So another thing we could potentially see them do is switch over to more of a run-heavy set with Terrell Sutherland and Keith Swearingen.
And DC has done a nice job so far of keeping Swearingen in check as well. Leaving TD Drew. Very few options here. Sutherland and Swearingen back in. Swearingen's going to get the call on 1st down. And look at that again, Aaron. Corralled at the line of scrimmage. That is Riley Hughes, the outside linebacker, coming in to make that play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And again, that's just credit to how good DC's defense has been this game. They haven't allowed Keith Swearingen anything as far as run yards go.
And now here comes the heavy set. Elbert Russell back in the game. Swearingen's got some blockers and makes good use of them, getting out to the 32-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 2, a pivotal 3rd down, you could say here, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. Charleston is in almost desperate need of converting this 3rd down here. Keep this drive alive. Try and put something on the board. Otherwise, DC's just going to, keep pushing till this game gets out of hand.
Swearingen on the dive play. And that is ever so close. It's going to be 4th and inches. Aaron, what do you do? Would you go for it?
Absolutely. I'd absolutely go for this.
I would too.
Just, I formation, fullback dive. You picked up a fullback in the rookie draft for a reason. Use him, right?
I agree, but Wally Saddle, the punter, is coming out for Charleston, and he's going to boot this away. I mean, especially when you're down 10-0 too. You want to give your team a spark. Yeah. You want to generate inertia any way you can. And Rockefeller's going to get this out to the Charleston 34, and I think we got some laundry on the field.
That roughing the kicker?
I believe so. No, it's going to be a clip. Just a block in the back, I suspect, on the return. And that will take some yardage off of Kanye Rockefeller's efforts.
That's definitely unfortunate. DC, though, still going to have some pretty good field position on this drive.
8:02 left in the first half. DC so far. A field goal, an interception, and a touchdown. And what will it do here on this 4th drive of the day? Synergy throwing it into triple coverage. And that's one way to fire up your team. Zach Lay nearly had that one picked off. Would have been his 2nd of the game. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I don't like the risk there by Synergy trying to throw that ball that deep, especially with 3 Charleston defenders on him. If there was no other look, I guess that's the best you can do. I would have just thrown out of bounds at that point, though. There's no good looks otherwise.
Say around the left side. Say has a lane. He's got to make the defender miss. And it has to be number 45, Jack Hoffman, to bring him down. But Say was nearly off to the races. A little slow to get up there. But a huge game by Say, and DC moves the chains.
Yeah, and this is what you like to see out of DC, specifically when Kevin Say is on his A game. Making multiple defenders miss, just has an alleyway of space. He breaks that tackle by Hoffman, and DC's up 17.
Say again, we'll get a couple. Jack Brown there, right at the point of attack, limiting the output from Say. He's going to get 4 yards, though. It's going to be 2nd and 6. Clock continues to run with 7:15 to play.
Yeah, and Charleston's defense needs to come up with something incredible here. Otherwise, DC's just going to continue their march downfield.
Charleston staying in that nickel look on defense. 3 wideouts for the Dragons. Short drop by Synergy. He's got a man open, and that is going to be another DC first down. Made that look a little too simple there as Mike Churchill found some space and utilized it. 1st and 10.
Yeah, and plays like that was where Churchill thrived down in the minors. No surprise here, DC's making use of that here with the rookie in the majors.
Chris Britton checks back in. Say's going to get a lead blocker this time. Makes a defender miss. And Jack Hoffman, you see the numbers there on Say. That is 1/2 of football, folks. 53 yards, 4+ yards a pop. You're going to win some games if you keep doing that over the course of a season.
Absolutely. And that's just Kevin Say being Kevin Say, right?
Yes. His 4.6 yards per carry coming into this game. Good for 8th on the SFL leaderboard. Synergy out of the shotgun this time on 2nd and 6, dealing over the middle, and that is caught. Another first down for the Dragons. And this Charleston defense, who has looked so good against the pass, finds themselves on their heels. That was Rupert Westclaw, the rookie, coming up with a big catch.
Yeah, getting his first catch of the game here was Westclaw there.
Britton will stay in. Synergy dealing this time, and that is caught. And I think that was Chris Britton on the catch. Gain of 3, just couldn't quite turn that gigantic 245-pound body upfield. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, it's definitely, and this is from experience, definitely difficult trying to turn these big old bodies around to try and get some additional yardage on catches like that.
I can speak to that as well. Another time, perhaps. 2nd and 7. Say around the right side. Say's got a lane and a big block there to the 10, to the 5. Kevin Say to the end zone for the 2nd touchdown of this half. DC is rolling.
Yeah, unfortunate there that Charleston's not able to bring Kevin Say down. He just had all kinds of room. Got a good block from Chris Britton there. Jack Brown trying to keep up with and make a play. Unfortunately, Kevin Say is just too fast.
You can look up the exploits of Kevin Say and other SFL players on the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player, to join the community, the league, and the teams that play in it, and a comprehensive history of the league, over 1,500 games, and thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. And Potty strong on the extra point. And DC's up 17-0. I expected a lot of DC offense. I didn't expect this. What a surprise.
Yeah, no, DC's offense has just been on fire pretty much from the beginning of this game. I don't think Charleston was prepared for the fire of the DC Dragons as they find themselves down by 2.5 scores.
Taylor will take this punt from his own end zone, get out to the 20 and to the 25. Is where TD Drew will set up shop with 5:18 to play in the second quarter. A big hello. Go ahead.
I was going to say Charleston in desperate need of trying to get, anything going their way here offensively.
And the last thing you want to do is give DC another bite at the apple here before the half. Swearingen around the right side. He makes the defender miss. The spin cycle going. You see the legs churning on Riley Hughes. The outside linebacker's had a couple tackles on Swearingen today. Shuts him down after 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Charleston's drive so far. Interception, punt. What can they do here to stop the cycle? Drew out of the shotgun, dealing to the left side, and that is caught. And that's a great idea, giving it to Ken McCarrow, who again had 10 catches last week. You see the quarterback comparison there. There is no comparison.
Yeah, no comparison at all. DC has just been electric. Charleston, not so much.
Terrell Sutherland checks in. Charleston for the power eye. Swearingen up the middle, and Swearingen cannot get it out of first gear. And look who it is, Riley Hughes, coming up to play the run again in an outstanding fashion. And here comes Wally Saddle for another punt.
Yeah, Riley Hughes for this DC defense has been the bane of Keith Swearingen's existence as Charleston's forced to punt for now the 3rd straight time.
Saddle gets it away, no pressure from the Dragons. Rockefeller from his 38. And he will get this to the 32. And a lot of time to work with here for DC, Aaron. I think Kevin Say, anything you want to do offensively is still on the table.
Absolutely. DC still has all 3 timeouts for this half if they want to use them. They've got the 2-minute warning to deal with on their side also. And with just under 4 minutes left in the ball game, DC's playbook is wide open.
Say again with plenty of room, trying to do a little shimmy there. Around the 39-yard line, a gain of 7, a tremendous gain on first down for the second-year running back.
Yeah, that stutter step spin move that Sage just tried there almost worked out and would have probably resulted in even bigger play. Charleston's defense, though, maintains a bit of patience and prevents that from happening.
And DC heavily investing in the run here, going heavy set again on 2nd and short. Look at that hit! Jack Brown from behind the line of scrimmage, coming up with a big shot there to get his team in a 3rd and medium situation. That's 3rd and 4.
I mean, that's one way to try to spurn your defense on. Just spear the opposing team's running back there to Jack Brown.
Say again. Say's got a first down. And Say finally corralled before reaching midfield.
This drive has very much been the Kevin Say show, as another big run and another spin move from Kevin Say extends this drive further with another first down for DC.
And you mentioned this earlier, Aaron, but he is getting outstanding blocks at the 2nd and 3rd level. Not just Chris Britton, but the wide receivers and offensive linemen running downfield, chipping in as well.
Absolutely, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons Kevin Say is doing so well this game is that excellent blocking.
Short drop by Synergy. They're going to throw it this time. They'll dump it over the middle to Josh Gill. He just ran a little hot route there. And just like that, there's another 10 yards for DC. Then they'll move the chains again.
Yeah, and now they're in Charleston territory here, and not showing any real signs of slowing down. Still got the 2-minute warning coming up.
And there is the 2-minute warning. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty of Shabazz synergy to go around. You're watching a special edition of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. DC, after that shootout with Vancouver, prevailed against Las Vegas in week 2. Looking to make it 2 in a row here. Driving again to close out the first half. Say around the right side. And Say has a first down. And Say gets inside the 30-yard line. Already at 100 yards today is Kevin Say.
Yeah, Kevin Say has just been running all over Charleston. In some instances, it seems like Charleston prepared more for Shabazz synergy and the passing attack than they did for Kevin Say and this run game that DC has put together so far.
4 wideouts for DC. Synergy pump fake, and the rush finally gets home. And DC watches their quarterback fall to the ground as Dick Baker applying pressure there. That's an incomplete, but sign of life out of that Charleston pass rush. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and it's good to see Charleston's defensive line finally getting pressure to Shabazz synergy. Unfortunately, at least in this half, it may be too little too late.
Clock stopped with 1:27 to play. Britton in the game. Synergy dealing on the left side. That is intercepted. And Charleston is going to get one more shot at this thing.
I'm surprised, actually, that DC continued their pass attack there. I thought they were going to run the ball, to be honest with you.
And that would have made a lot more sense. John Stamango coming up with a pick. That is Synergy's 2nd pick of the game. And that almost certainly...
I believe that's Stamango's 2nd pick of the game, too, is it not?
I have Zach Lay and then
that's
Stamango.
Right. That's right. It was Zach Lay on the first one.
And now TD Drew with 1:21 to play here in the first half. Got a chance to work, and he's going to throw another interception. Giving the ball right back to DC is TD Drew. And it's David Leathers coming up with a big-time play, and DC back in business on the offensive side.
And David Leathers there just in the right place at the right time, gets up on that ball intended for Ken McCarrow, and it's another case of dueling interceptions for TD Drew and Shabazz synergy. And Synergy, at least in the first exchange, came out on top.
2nd time in this half, we've had back-to-back interceptions. The Shabazz synergy says, "You're with me, Leathers." And we'll take over here on the plus side of the field. They're going to hurry up. Clock continues to run. 1:01 to play here in the first half. Synergy, short drop, dealing to the right side this time. Say has a lane and a spin move. Not as productive as previous. 3rd and 4 now. I think we might see another throw. We do. Short drop by Synergy, who has time. Say from behind the line of scrimmage has nowhere to go. And Washington will finally take a timeout. DC has 2 remaining.
Yeah, and it's 4th down here. This may just be slightly out of Potty's range. There's a possibility that they go for it here on 4th down as well.
Ooh, here comes Potty. This is going to be a 53-yard field goal attempt. And he has made from this distance an SFLM. Can he do it here on the big stage here in the nation's capital? Spot is down. Kick is up. And that is no good.
Didn't have the leg for it, I'm afraid.
Not quite. These summer conditions proving less than opportune, and we're not going to see a great look at it there. But a missed opportunity for DC. And if you're TD Drew, don't you just take a knee and go back to the locker room for the half?
I would think so. but it looks like they're just gonna go for it.
That's actually great field position starting at the 43, and there's a catch, and Buchanan Simon's doing what Buchanan Simons does, getting inside the 5, and now Charleston will take a timeout. It's 1st and goal for the Predators. Don't ever listen to me.
I mean, if that's what you're gonna do, then yeah, that's definitely the decision to go with. Buchanan Simons just finds himself wide open, deep downfield. All TD Drew's got to do is step up and make the throw, and Charleston's almost right back in this game right before halftime.
Buchanan Simons had 2 touchdowns last week. Career touchdowns number 50 and 51. And he's going to take a seat. Ken McCarroll, the only wide receiver out. Terrell Sutherland checks back in. Flag on the play. TD Drew drops back, throwing over the middle. And that is incomplete. Looked like he intended to find Lyric Da Vinci in the end zone.
Yeah, but they're going to get a free down out of that. That was encroachment on the defense.
Well, they're going to get their money's worth on that penalty. That'll only be about 1.5 yards, I think. 1/2 the distance.
But I believe it's a replay of 1st down.
Very true. Although with the clock being what it is, we're at less than a minute, just 24 seconds here. It's almost a non-factor. Russell checks back in as Charleston goes back to the heavy set. McCarroll to Drew's left. And Drew will drop back on 2nd down. And there is Sutherland, and Sutherland is in the end zone for the touchdown. Terrell Sutherland, come on down.
The fullback getting the look here to finally put Charleston on the board after what had been a very, very tough offensive day for Charleston. But a sign of life here as they're going to go into the half with points.
And I believe that is Terrell Sutherland's first receiving touchdown in the SFL.
Attaboy, Terrell. Let's go.
And that's exactly what he gives you. He's just so versatile and a ridiculous threat in the red zone. Brechet's kick is good. And as you said, Aaron, Charleston's going to make this a 2-possession game with 21 seconds to play in the first half.
Yeah, and it's, definitely big there if you're a Charleston fan getting that touchdown here before halftime.
And Charleston will get the ball to start the second half. Not something to be discounted. DC from inside the 5. Rockefeller gets us out to the 30. You see the line there on Josh Reese. And we could see some fireworks here from Synergy before this half is all wrapped up.
Absolutely. 16 seconds left to go. Definitely an opportunity for a deep ball from Synergy here. Though more than likely they'll just run the clock out with Kevin Say.
And that's what is suggested with Chris Britton in the game. And Britton will block for Say. He makes a defender miss pretty significantly. They're going to hurry back to the line. But I'm not sure if they will run a play here.
I don't think they will. It wouldn't be smart to.
Say will get another call. And Say this time getting really close to the sticks. And they're going to let time expire here. In what has been a very entertaining first half. Charleston looking for their first 3-0 start in franchise history. They're behind the 8 ball now against the DC Dragons. It's 17-7. Double A, your thoughts on the first half?
I mean, the comparison there kind of tells the whole story. It was all DC pretty much that entire first half. Unfortunate, Sebastian Energy throwing 2 interceptions. But it's been a tale of 2 similar styles offensively. DC's execution has just been a lot better overall, and it's shown in the score.
And then Kevin Say, 118 yards in the first half and 2 touchdowns. As you said earlier, Aaron, the star of the show. And conversely, Keith Swearingen, the all-star running back for Charleston, just has not, for whatever reason, had that similar success. What do you think is going on with Keith Swearingen? Only 16 yards in the first half.
Honestly, it's just been a struggle for him to find the same amount of running room that Kevin Say has. The blocking for Swearingen just hasn't been as big or as consistent in this first half for Swearingen as it was for Kevin Say.
There's still plenty of football left. We've had 4 total turnovers here. All of them coming back-to-back. Kanye Rockefeller and then Zach Lay in the first quarter. And then John Stamango and David Leathers for DC and Charleston, respectively, in the second quarter. And then that play by Buchanan Simons really broke things open and set up the Terrell Sutherland TV.
Yeah, and I think that was just a good route there from Buchanan Simons. He just left DC secondary for dust. There was nobody really around to try and make a play on that pass from TD Drew.
Charleston down 10 will start the second half with the football. As soon as Potty delivers same to Jay Taylor, waiting on his own goal line, actually at the 2. Here come the Predators. Out to the 25. Taylor breaks the tackle. Out to the 35. And Taylor is going to get to the 37, doing his part to set up this offense for a productive drive here in the second half.
I honestly thought he was going to break away there and take that for 7 here early on, but still a good return, giving Charleston some nice field position to start this third quarter.
Josh Zirkle, Aaron Alexander joining you in Washington, D.C. here on SFL Convention Weekend. Cameron Irvine producing. Charleston 2-0 for the first time in franchise history, facing Shabazz Synergy and the D.C. Dragons on their own field where they are trailing 17-7. And now looking at 2nd and 10. You mentioned Swearingen only 16 yards. Start the first half. He's going to get a little help here as Charleston goes to the heavy set. And the DC defense awaits. No, Drew will throw here over the middle. And that is caught. An outstanding catch by Lyric Da Vinci to get Charleston into DC territory.
Yeah, that's a great pass there from TD Drew into the hands of Lyric Da Vinci. The offensive line giving Drew all the time that he needed, and a good route there from Da Vinci to set up a great start to this drive for Charleston.
Terrell Sutherland in the game at fullback. Drew with another drop here. Defender at his feet, and that is caught. That's going to be Swearingen. He's going to get no gain on that. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Swearingen's momentum there, unfortunately, in the momentum of the ball, forcing him out of bounds for no gain. But definitely a better outcome than the potential sack that could have occurred had that defender got up from Drew's.
And Charleston seems content to leave Sutherland in the game, even though they're not running to Swearingen very much here. And there is a catch. That is Elbert Russell, the backup tight end. And Russell, of all people, gets Charleston a first down.
Yeah, he had a nice spin move there himself. Signs of Swearingen and Say there on that reception. And you mentioned them keeping Terrell Sutherland in the game here, despite the lack of running on Charleston's side. I think it's just the type of fullback that Terrell Sutherland is, as opposed to somebody like me out in Fort Worth who's more run support, more block focused. Terrell Sutherland is definitely more like a halfback to like a third receiver type of fullback.
Drew on first down, looking for McCarrow. That pass is just a little long. One of the interesting things about TD Drew struggling here against this DC defense. Remember, DC got in that shootout with Vancouver in week 1. We mentioned that earlier. Tom Pepper had 737 yards against the same defense just 2 weeks ago. And then last week, Joseph Green, who's a rookie, got 380 yards against DC. And now we see TD Drew, the 6-year veteran, with more than his share of struggles. On 2nd and 10, he'll go to the shotgun, under pressure, and that throw made in haste, looking for Da Vinci, nearly picked off. And another big 3rd down for DC, or excuse me, for Charleston in DC territory.
Yeah, and I think the biggest change here, DC's definitely tightened up their run defense, or their pass defense, excuse me, in this game against Charleston, where it wasn't really as present against Vancouver and Las Vegas. They've had guys pretty much all over the Charleston defenders. Except
Drew
for them.
dealing, and that is a catch and a touchdown. And look who it is. Buchanan Simons, no trouble on that play. Charleston finds the end zone once again.
Except when they're having to cover Buchanan Simons, apparently. Just as I was complimenting DC's defense on how locked down they had been on Charleston's receivers, Buchanan Simons just makes an absolute fool out of me with a great grab there.
Sometimes we think we know what we're talking about and then get proved exactly otherwise. And it is what it is. It comes with the industry. Charleston bookending the intermission with touchdowns on either end. The Sutherland touchdown before the break. The Buchanan Simons touchdown after. And the kick for Brechin is good. And look now, AA, we got a 3-point game.
Yeah, Charleston, after that Terrell Sutherland touchdown at the end of the second, I don't know what what kind of pep talk they were given in the locker room, but clearly it's worked in their benefit, because now Charleston knocking at the door of taking the lead in this game.
Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL. And Aaron, I've tried on those mini helmets. I got to tell you, they don't fit me. I'm going to have to go to the micro helmet and make some other adjustment there.
Yeah, definitely. I also, speaking of, I got one of the jerseys from Sector 6, and it's so comfortable. I can't wait to put it on at the convention.
You gonna break it out?
I'm gonna break it out.
As you should, my friend. Synergy complete on 1st down to Josh Gill. And that's going to move the chains again. Synergy picking up right where he left off in the first half. And why not? He's got a 3-point lead. His offense is humming. His running back is looking very sharp, Kevin Say, right behind Synergy. 4 wideouts in the game for DC. Short drop for Synergy over the middle, nearly intercepted. And that was Jack Brown saying, no, sir. On that pass completion, 2nd and 10.
Jack Brown probably kicking himself, admittedly, for not getting that interception, but in the right place at the right time to prevent anything from going with that one, at least.
Trips to the bottom of your screen here on 2nd and 10. Saved by his lonesome in the backfield. 5-step drop by Synergy, going over the middle, incomplete. Taking a big shot there into double coverage. The safety's converging on the intended receiver. And I did not see who that was.
That, I believe, was Jeff Banfield was the target there. 4 Charleston shirts, though, around 1 DC. Still super risky plays from Synergy in this DC offense.
They're going to stay in that 4 wideout set. I wonder if Say has maybe the fatigue algorithm kicking in for him after such a productive first half. And there's another interception. I think that is that is Tommy Zanardi getting Synergy's 3rd interception of the day. And then Charleston in plus territory to start their next drive.
Man, Charleston has they've turned this around here in the third. Another interception on Synergy. Again, another ball that looked like it was just cherry picked straight to Charleston there.
Shabazz Synergy has thrown an interception in every quarter of this game. Albert Russell, after getting a first down late in the first half, gets the first catch of this drive. The backup tight end, very jubilant backup tight end at this point. 2nd and 2.
An important note here, the first time that interceptions have not been back-to-back.
Very good point. I forgot to bring my back-to-back interception tracker with me to Washington. Swearingen on 2nd down. Going to get corralled for no gain. And that is number 68, Exodus O'Brien, the excellently named second-year defensive end. Had 6 tackles for loss last week. Did not quite qualify for such on that play, but does force a 3rd and 1. Swearingen again. Swearingen just has nowhere to go. Ajumo Afolabi and a gaggle of other light blue and black shirts converging on the running back, and Charleston is going to send out Brad Bretchett to try and make this a tie game.
Yeah, unfortunate for Charleston that Keith Swearingen just hasn't been able to get anything really going this game. They're, in a position to potentially tie this game up, but if you're Keith Swearingen, you've got to be frustrated with how things are going so far.
Bretchett from 47 yards is good, and we are knotted at 17 apiece. Bretchett, of course, who abandoned what was then the Alaska Storm after season 11. He came back to Charleston for season 17. And the end of his hiatus, if you will, much celebrated here by the Charleston faithful as they finally have things tied up here in the district.
Yeah, if you would have told me, halfway through the first quarter that we'd be tied up just after halftime, I wouldn't have believed you.
I would not have either. Rockefeller to the 25. "17 unanswered from the Charleston Predators. And now, Shabazz Synergy, who has thrown 3 interceptions on the day so far, will look to stop the madness and give his team the lead once again. Chris Britton in at fullback. Both running backs staying in the block. Synergy going down the field. That is caught. What a huge gain. Josh Gill flirting with the 100-yard mark on a monster gain there. And DC is in plus territory.
Yeah, that was just an impressive catch there from Josh Gill. Unfortunate that I believe that was Zach Lay or Corey Menner. I couldn't exactly see the number there. Just wasn't really able to get a good enough position on the ball to really do anything with it. And that's a big opening play here for DC.
And now Kevin Say gets the call once again. And he will react jubilantly to his 8-yard run. Bask in the hubris and joy of Kevin Say. 2nd and 2. DC already, arguably, back at field goal range. Potty had a 53-yarder fall short earlier in this game. And Say will get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. 3rd and 1.
And if you're DC, in the event that you don't get a first down here, I'm admittedly not sure you go to Potty here. This far away from the end zone. I think you realistically try like a coffin quarter. Not that it matters, because Kevin Say is going to do Kevin Say things.
And Kevin Say does do a Kevin Say thing, getting a first down, moving the chains. A gain of 9 on 3rd and 1. DC's got themselves another first down.
Yeah, and DC is in a lot more comfortable position now, I think. Just outside of the red zone here.
2 tight ends for DC. Synergy will deal to Say through the air this time. And he will get a few for being corralled near the sideline. 2nd and 7. I think Corey Menner, among others, was in on that tackle.
And I think that was set up as a screen pass to Say. Unfortunately, the blocking there not entirely ideal, as DC only gets 3 yards out of that.
Britton stays in the game. Say, this time taken down behind the line. Charleston gets themselves a TFL. And it's Joseph Sabolka, who had 2 TFLs in week 1, notches 1 here in week 3.
Yeah, and that's honestly a big TFL here for Charleston, putting them back at the original line of scrimmage on this set of downs.
Bunch formation to Synergy's right. Big 3rd down here for DC. Synergy dropping back, throwing over the middle. That's caught, and it's another DC touchdown. Just like that, the Dragons retake the lead. Mike Churchill doing the business.
Yeah, and that's just a great ball there from Sebastian Synergy. Mike Churchill doing an incredible job getting open deep in Charleston secondary. Nobody really in the area to try and make a play on that ball. And DC goes up another touchdown, finally answering back the 17 of Charleston.
Churchill had a touchdown last week. Adds one to the tally this week. And gives his team their 2nd lead of the game. As Potty will look to make it a 7-point lead. And he does. You're watching a special presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. But did you know that you could also watch an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the SFL got its start in 2013 right here on the SFL's YouTube channel? SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archived people behind the players segments, and all the major milestones in league history. And we thank you for joining us here on SFL Convention Weekend on this fine Friday afternoon. Josh Zirkle, Aaron Alexander in the booth, Cameron Irvine in the truck, and Jay Taylor on the kick return. He's going to get this back out to the 25-yard line. And the Charleston offense, which has scored on 3 consecutive possessions, will look to make it 4 in a row as TD Drew steps under center on 1st and 10. Swearingen, nowhere to go! Blasted behind the line of scrimmage. And that has been the story of this game, Aaron, is that Swearingen just cannot get out of first gear. Benny Butcher, the 2nd-year defensive tackle, on the stop.
Yeah, it's just been a case of the DC's defensive line and linebacking core has just read every single run that Charleston has tried to put in their path, and Swearingen, unfortunately, just can't seem to find any daylight.
Drew finds Da Vinci in the right flat, and that is caught, but not for much. 3rd and 9, regaining the yardage that they lost on 1st down and a little bit more.
Yeah, still a long 3rd down here, though, for Charleston.
Swearingen will take a seat. 5 wideouts in the game for the Predators. Drew in the shotgun. 6 defensive backs for the Dragons. Drew's going to uncork one, and that is intercepted. TD Drew gives it up again, and DC's got a lane going down the left side. Tremendous field position for the Dragons when they come back out on offense. And that is David Leathers with his 2nd pick of the game.
Yeah, just a really good read by Leathers there. TD Drew trying to find his favorite target in Buchanan Simons. And David Leathers is like, not this time. This one's mine.
And now TD Drew has also thrown an interception in every quarter of this game. Each quarterback has 3 apiece. And Shabazz Synergy could not ask for better field position than this, starting at Charleston's 13-yard line. Chris Britton in the game. There's the handoff. And that is Chris Britton with a nice gain on first down. Gain of 6. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, you love to see a nice fullback dive every once in a while. That one pretty big there for DC as Britton picks up that 6 yards. Still with a chance at another set of downs here as well.
I know you like to see a nice fullback dive once in a while. Synergy over the middle. And that is intercepted. A mass of humanity. And it's Zach Lay with his 2nd pick of the game.
Oh, man. A part of me almost feels bad. Unfortunate. Jeff Banfield not able to get his hands on that ball. Instead, it falls into the hands of Zach Lay. And immediately after David Letters gets 2 for DC, Zach Lay now has 2 for Charleston.
Points coming off the board with that Zach Lay interception. DC had at least 3 points there. And TD Drew will throw it over the middle. And just a note there, Double A, we did not see Kevin Say, who has had a monster game, get a single touch on that very short drive.
You're right. He did not. Instead, they opted for the fullback. Kevin Say may be experiencing a little bit of fatigue, perhaps.
Drew out of the shotgun on 2nd and 4. Twins to his right. He'll throw over the middle again, and that one is nearly picked off. Holy smokes. What a bizarre display of defensive prowess we see this time by Ajumo Afolabi, the 9th-year linebacker. 821 career tackles. Good for 17th all-time on the SFL leaderboard.
Coming over from the Corsairs out of Queen City.
Afolabi's first year with the Dragons. So far, so good. Drew. That is going to be complete on 3rd down, but short of the 6. That is Da Vinci again. And perhaps decision time, although we see the cut to Wally Saddle. Maybe the decision's already been made.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So after the Zach Lay INT, Charleston goes 3 and out, and they're going to punt. Rockefeller to the 36. DC sitting in a pretty good spot here, up 7 with 1:07 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but at this point, Synergy needs to try and put a handle on this this turnover problem that he seems to have created for himself.
And the other thing to think about, Double A, is that they may be saving Kevin Say for the 4th quarter. And they understand that they're going to need to close this game out, especially if it is a close game like this. Synergy will throw on 1st down, and that is complete. The left sideline. And Synergy will just calmly lead his team back up to the line, as if he's not thrown 4 interceptions in this game, which is exactly what great quarterbacks do. Actually, no, they're going to call it incomplete. 2nd and 10. And here comes the challenge.
That's a smart challenge. That he definitely looked like he had at least a foot in bounds when he caught that ball.
And so we will take another look at it. Stephen Mullinex, the head coach for DC. Look at that pass, first of all. They should call it incomplete just for the lack of...
The lack of spiral.
Josh Gill was the intended receiver there.
The pass has been ruled complete. The catch was
And now they're saying that's a catch.
the Dragons.
Yeah, Gill just barely managing to keep that 1 foot in bounds here.
Do you like the decision to challenge that in a 1-score game and possibly lose a timeout for 10 yards?
In that situation, I do. Because even from the angle that we had up here in the booth, it definitely looked like Josh Gill was in bounds.
Jeff Banfield running the out route. And that will be enough to move the chains. A 1st down for DC. Nothing fancy there. He's just outrunning the defense. That will stop the clock with 1 minute to play here in the third quarter. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. Synergy dealing, and that's intercepted. That is Zach Lay again, his third pick of the game, and he's got a lane and driving into DC territory. Zach Lay, the human turnover machine.
I don't know what to say at this point. That's Synergy's 5th interception. The ball underthrown, the receiver not paying attention to it, and Lay just easy pickings for his third pick of the game.
A pass intended for Westclaw, and Lay was just all over it. And now TD Drew, 45 yards away from tying this game. Swearingen to his left. Drew will throw on first down. Going to the corner, and what a catch by Buchanan Simons. Going up, and away to bring that down. He's got over 100 yards on the day.
Yeah, that ball again, though, from TD Drew, absolutely dangerous into not one, not two, but three different DC defenders. Buchanan Simons, though, able to make the play on the ball.
I mean, if you made the catch, it's a good throw, right?
Right.
Isn't that the sole criterion of what a good catch is?
Fair enough, Josh. Fair enough.
Looking for Swearingen Drew on the right side, and that is incomplete. I'll stop the clock with 4 seconds left in the third quarter. And I'm just basking in the hubris here of both quarterbacks. We have a combined 8 interceptions in this game. And these guys are throwing the ball like it's 7-on-7 practice. I'm loving this. This is my kind of game. Drew, the lefty dealing over the middle, and that is intercepted! 9 interceptions on the game! This one going to Jack Russell, the 4th-year strong safety, who had 2 last week and gets his first of the game today.
I can't form coherent thoughts right now. It's a slugfest of. It feels like it's backyard football.
Plenty more interceptions coming your way. It's the end of the third quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're watching a special presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. If you are at the SFL convention and you are playing interception bingo, Jack Russell is the latest name that you need to cover. The 9th interception of this game. Synergy dealing to the left side, and that is incomplete, intended for a backup wide receiver. Jesse Glover, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and admittedly, all these interceptions, at least for Charleston, are almost out of what am I looking for? Out of character. Especially for TD Drew, who only threw 1 last week against Louisiana.
Yes. And both these guys have had outstanding games already this season. Drew's last week, and then, of course, Synergy, who, I don't want to say shocked the world, but nobody expected that Vancouver game to be that close, number one, and nobody expected DC to hang a 50-burger on the Legion. And that pass is complete. Josh Gill over the middle of the field again. And Josh Gill with another huge gain to get DC down the field and another first down.
Yeah, I mean, we talk as much as we want about all the interceptions that Drew and Synergy have thrown. And then, something like this happens. Just a great ball into the hands of Josh Gill. And it's first down again. DC's marching again, trying to make this a 2-score game.
In the fourth quarter, Kevin Sayer on the right side just cannot find a hole. An assortment of white shirts there to make the play. Will Hammer, the backup defensive tackle among them, 2nd and 11. Twins to the top of your screen. Synergy under center. 2 tight ends to his left. Say gets the call up the middle. He'll get about 4. 3rd and 6. Say very pleased with that run. And why not? He's having a monster game, and anything added to that total is just gravy at this point.
Yeah, and he got some really good blocks on that run too, so in a way probably also trying to hype up his offensive line.
Synergy back to pass, throwing over the middle. Big throw, and that is incomplete. Josh Reese hauling down Jeff Banfield at the last moment. Let's take another look at that. It's a good ball. Reese is just playing exceptional defense after tripping the downfield judge. And why not? I mean, you can take out 2 people on one play. Go for it.
Yeah. Definitely one of the better balls we've seen from Synergy this game. And yeah, Reese just in the right place at the right time to prevent Jeff Banfield from getting that ball. Be forced to punt it away here.
Ron Van Cleef will punt for DC. Handles the wayward snap. Taylor waiting at his 25. He might get a couple yards. They're going to spot him at the 28. Charleston still down 7, less than 9 minutes to play. Excuse me. What would you like to see Charleston do here, Double A?
I'll be honest with you. At this point, I'm not entirely sure. Like, a part of me wants to see Keith Swearengin get going, but at this point in the game, it may be too late for that.
Drew will throw on 1st down. That is complete to Simons, running the out route. That's a gain of 4. And we'll say it one more time. 9 interceptions in this game between these 2 quarterbacks. TD Drew with 4. Shabazz Synergy with 5. But it is Synergy's team that has the lead. They're up 7 with 8:25 to play here in regulation. Swearengin nowhere to go. And that has been the story of his afternoon. You see the averages there, 0.8 yards per carry. Just 10 yards to speak of in this game. Credit to this DC defense. They have shut down Keith Swearengin.
Yeah, DC's run defense has been lethal. They've had a chokehold on the run game of Keith Swearengin since the first quarter, and they don't feel like letting that go anytime soon.
Drew on corks one to Jay Taylor. That is caught on the logo. And Charleston in plus territory. And that's the risk you take, isn't it? You throw these big balls, and sometimes they get picked off, and sometimes they wind up with monster gains like this.
Yeah, and it's definitely about finding the type of plays that will consistently give you those big yardages, those big gains without too many turnovers. Unfortunately, that balance has not quite gone Charleston's way.
Sutherland in the game for Charleston, excuse me. And then Swearengin up the left side of the field. He's going to get a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5, Aaron.
Yeah, this is really the only way that that Swearengin's really been able to get anything done has been on this pass game that Charleston has pieced together.
Russell checks back in with the heavy set. Swearengin up the middle, has the 1st down. Perhaps the first successful run of Swearengin's day. And you can see he's just on his back. Can't believe it. Sutherland with a little playful jabbing there. There you go, buddy. Charleston moves the chains.
Yeah, I believe that's the longest run that Swearengin has had this game.
McCarrow, the only wideout in the game so far. Terrell Sutherland did at fullback. Swearengin again, this time around the right side, and nowhere to go. And it's Benny Butcher again. And Benny Butcher's going to gyrate and celebrate that play. A tackle for no gain. 2nd and 10.
and it's different quarter, same game basically. DC's defense just clogging any hole that Swearigan can go through for the most part.
And he is just not getting a lot of help up front either. I mean,
Absolutely not.
He is facing contact at the line of scrimmage or behind it on almost every single play that we've seen, and we saw it there again, which brings up a big third down. I wonder if we'll see that guy get a target here, Buchanan Simons. And he checks back in. 5 wideouts for the Predators. Drew in the shotgun. Dealing over the middle, and a diving catch by Ken McCarrow. And McCarrow gets his team in the red zone.
I thought that ball was about to get intercepted. I will not lie to you there. That's kind of nuts that McCarrow was able to get his hands on that ball.
A magnificent grab by the 7th-year wide receiver, Kanye Rockefeller, was right there. And McCarrow gets the upper hand in that matchup. Drew in the red zone looking for Da Vinci, and that is deflected by Afolabi. Da Vinci thought he had himself a big gain there, but for naught. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, this is an opportunity though for Charleston to tie this game up. Shades eerily similar to the game that these two had last season.
Yes. Where it's tied 21-21 to the last minute of the game. More on that in a second. Drew will hand off to Swearigan, who cannot find a hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue shirts in the neighborhood. Peanuts say at the bottom of that pile, and another big third down for Charleston.
Yeah, this run game, I understand wanting to try and run the clock out. I think at this point you've got to pass the ball.
And Drew will pass. Deep drop here on 3rd and 10. Deal it to the end zone. And that one is intercepted again. Intended for McCarrow, but DC comes up with it. Interception number 10 of this fine football game.
And I believe that is another new name on the interception list. That's John DeSantis on the pick for DC there.
That's right. I have him in the I column on my bingo card. TD Drew's 5th pick. Can't pile on any more than that. 10th interception of this game. Each quarterback has 5. And now it's Synergy, who's going to hand off to Kevin Say to try and run off 4.5 minutes. And wrap up this session of football with a W. 2nd and 9.
It's going to take a lot more than just a 1-yard run, though, to take off 4 minutes on the clock, especially since Charleston has all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
Chris Britton back in the game. Wes Claude as well. There's the handoff to Say. Say around the right line has a first down and more. And Say getting close to midfield. Out to the 40-yard line. Another big run by Kevin Say.
That's more like what you need in order to run the clock out like that. Another big run from Kevin Say, who's just had all of the necessary blocks that he's needed pretty much all day in order to get these runs deep down the field.
They're going to spot this at the 39. Josh Reese on the tackle. Free safety covering the entire defensive backfield. Swarming to bring Say to the turf. Chris Britton will stay in the game. Clock continues to run. 3:20 to play here in regulation. Say gets a block on the left side, but not two. And it's Josh Reese again, flying in to knock out Kevin Say on that play. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, good block there by Britton on the first Charleston defender to get there. Unfortunately, can't block 2 people at once, and Kevin Say is only able to pick up 3 there.
The clock dips below 3 minutes to play here in regulation. DC going back to the heavy set. 5 defensive backs on the field for Charleston. And Synergy doing a great job of running this clock down as far as he can get it. Say again. And Say is going to get dragged down at long last by Jack Hoffman just before reaching the sticks. It's going to be 3rd and 2. A huge third down here. And we're probably going to hit the 2 minute.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. DC's just gonna let this clock run down to the 2 minute warning. Put even more pressure on the Predators to either make something big happen or to start using their timeouts.
Chris Britton checks out, and that is the 2 minute warning. Shabazz Synergy and the DC Dragons trying to hang on. You're watching a special edition of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Josh Zirkle, Aaron Alexander in the booth, Cameron Irvine producing this special edition of SFL football on convention weekend. And Kevin Say is going to be stopped short, and Charleston will use a timeout. They're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, and I think this is a make or break drive for Charleston. Charleston needs to get to the end zone, pure and simple. They can't settle for 3. It looks like though DC's going to try a bait and switch here before they punt this ball away. And
we've seen this before. Quarterbacks go to the hard count and then call timeout. And if you get a jump, why not? But as it stands, Britton checks back in at fullback. DC cannot take time off the clock here, and then they finally do use that timeout. Which it would seem that they may not need at this point, Aaron.
Yeah, if DC's defense is able to keep Charleston in check for the next 2 minutes, then that's definitely a smart choice. But if it turns out that DC is on the back foot, that could come back to bite them.
We saw the shot of Synergy on the field, or on the sideline with Coach Stephen Mullinax. It looked like Synergy wanted to go for it. Kick is away for DC. Ron Van Cleef doing the business there. Fair catch from Jay Taylor at the 17-yard line. And so here we go. TD Drew needs to get 83 yards down the field to tie this game, and he needs to do it in less than 2 minutes. A field goal will not help him. And each quarterback, including Mr. Drew, has thrown 5 interceptions on the afternoon. 5 wideouts for Charleston. Drew will start in the shotgun on 1st and 10. 6 defensive backs for DC. And Drew will chuck it over the middle, and that is caught. Ken McCarroll, a great way to start a drive and a first down.
They're gonna hurry it up here, which I definitely think is smart if you're Charleston.
Absolutely. Staying in that 5 wide set. Drew will stay in the shotgun. High snap. Drew handles it. Deal it to the right side this time. And another big catch. It's Buchanan Simons, and he's very close to midfield.
Some of these passes that Buchanan Simons has been able to catch has been absolutely baffling, as he's going to get brought down.
Drew under pressure will take a sack. 1:12 to play here in regulation. Drew needs to hurry back to his position. And there's the snap. Drew dealing to the left side this time, and it's intercepted! Number 6, and it's Rockefeller who has a lane down the right side of the field to the 20. Finally brought down at the 9-yard line. And Kanye Rockefeller may have just put a dagger in this game.
Yeah, if you're DC at this point, you just hand the ball to Kevin Say. It doesn't matter what happens. Just give the ball to Kevin Say. Give it to Chris Britton. Run the clock out. Yes, you have the opportunity to score. At this point, you don't need to.
Rockefeller's second interception of the game. He had the first one on Charleston's first drive of the game that started this madness. And how appropriate that he would bookend the action with the second, and Synergy is going to get in victory formation. Charleston still has 2 timeouts. They'll use one here.
Yeah, and I don't exactly like the call to go into victory formation here. I think, you're 10 yards away from the end zone. Try and run the ball a little bit. You're still going to force Charleston to use those timeouts if necessary. Though I guess a part of me does understand that you don't want to give Charleston the ball back with timeouts this late in the game.
And Charleston will use their last timeout there. Coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports returns after the convention in Week 4, Saturday, August 14th. Charleston hosts rival Carolina, followed by a dramatic playoff rematch between defending champ Denver and Arizona. Stay tuned to the SFL social channels and league website for updated kickoff times. And I'll tell you what I'm really excited about, Aaron, is Denver in an SFL championship game rematch to get things going on Sunday. After the live games, Denver's going to go to Florida at 11 a.m. on Sunday. They kick off a few more games of SFL action to close out the convention, poolside no less. You going to be at the pool? Shirt on, I hope.
Unfortunately, I will be on a plane back home at that point in time.
I see. Potty's going to put this up from 30 yards. I always wear a shirt to the pool to hide all my gang tattoos.
That's fair.
The lead is 10 now, 27-17. And we asked for some exciting football today, Aaron, and I would say that we got it.
I mean, absolutely. You can't exactly, script 11 interceptions in a ball game.
No, you cannot. DC will kick off to Jay Taylor with 12 seconds left. Taylor from his own goal line to the 23.
Charleston's got time for 1, maybe 2 plays here before the end of this game. Probably going to be a Hail Mary attempt. I wouldn't be surprised if that man Buchanan Simons was not the target here.
Four wideouts and a tight end for Drew. Dealing to the left side. And another interception. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the humanity. John DeSantis with his second interception. And our 12th interception of this game.
I believe that's 7 for TD Drew, if I'm not mistaken.
I literally have run out of paper to count all these interceptions on.
Goodness gracious.
Rockefeller has 2. DeSantis has 2. Jack Russell.
David
and Leathers has 2. That's 7. Synergy will take a knee. And what a start to convention weekend. Congratulations to the DC Dragons. Getting it done on their home turf. Your final score, DC 27, Charleston 17. AA, your thoughts on the game?
It was all defense. Let's be honest. Like, Kevin Say had himself a game, but that's Kevin Say. He's really, really good at what he does. But this game was pretty much all defense. 12 turnovers between the two teams. 7 interceptions going DC's way. 5 going Charleston's way. I think what it came down to was DC was able to convert more of those turnovers into points than Charleston was. Another key factor, Keith Swearingen just never got going at all this game. He had, I think, 10 rushing yards in total, if that. I'm pretty sure Sutherland had more rushing yards than he did, if I recall. But Yeah, this game was all defense.
And we got to read these quarterback lines. TD Drew, 282 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And Shabazz Synergy, the victor, 249 passing yards, 1 touchdown pass, 5 interceptions. It was that kind of game. But as you say, I mean, defense carried the day. And both of these teams that have had success passing the ball, at least this season, you know, both of them ran into sort of roadblocks there. You mentioned the great game by Kevin Say, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. But in the end, I think it was the stars of the DC defense that made the difference in this game.
Absolutely agree with you there. Unfortunately, because I don't think the play of the game is going to go defense. I do think we're going to see it go to Kevin Say, who has, I believe, his second straight 150-yard game. Potentially his third, because I admittedly don't have the stats from the Vancouver game in front of me.
Kevin Say last week, 15 carries, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just a hair better than his 164 from this week. And when you're able to throw the ball for production, I mean, interceptions aside, you're going to have interceptions when you play in the SFL. Maybe not 7 in a game, every game, but you are going to have some picks. I think DC's got a lot to be excited about, and Charleston does as well. Kevin Say is your player of the game, 33 attempts, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also 20 yards through the air. Aaron, really enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. I did too. Have a great time at the convention.
Appreciate it, Josh. Gonna miss seeing you there.
For Aaron Alexander, for Cameron Irvine, I am Joshua Zirkle. Thank you so much for joining this special presentation of the SFL. Your final score, DC 27, Charleston 17. Good night from DC.